What's up, guys? Welcome to the first installment of Meet BTS. In this episode, I'm so excited to have K-pop dad with us with over 18,000 followers stretching across social media. He's one of the most creative and entertaining content creators in the K-pop sphere.
Let's get it on. What? It's not let's get it on? Oh, just on.
He'll dye his hair blue, and overall, he'll support BTS like any other fan would, maybe even more. So let me get this straight. You started liking BTS because of your daughters, right?
Oh yeah, they're the ones that get all the blame. They're the ones who dragged me in kicking and screaming. But you know, now that I got the fever, I don't want the cure. But yeah, they're the ones who, my twin daughters, my oldest daughters, they're the ones who got into K-pop and they were absorbing it, you know, like anybody. It seems like they just kind of dive in full on head first. And I just saw them every Saturday morning, you know, watching these videos. And you know, I grew up around things like that. I lived in Japan for about 4 years, and so it wasn't anything, you know, too strange. But for me, I didn't understand it at the time because, you know, the fashions, the hair color didn't make sense to me. And so I kind of started to tease them a little bit about it, you know, saying they all look like a bunch of girls and whatnot. And I really feel ashamed of that, you know, now. But, you know, they said, well, Dad, you know, just, you know, listen to it, you know. And so I took an interest in what they were listening to and started to try to, you know, look at the lyrics and see what it was all about. And boy, it's one of those things, if you give it a chance, you let it in just a little, you know, it's like a crowbar, just kind of gets in on you. So it's exactly what happened to me.
So, Mr. K-pop dad, what was your first introduction to BTS?
Well, the very first video that I really gave a chance was Dope by BTS. That dance, you know, seemed impossible. I mean, I don't think I'd ever seen any group be able to, you know, sync up and, you know, create those kind of movements in and out like the way they did.
You're right, the dance break for Dope goes crazy. Have you seen the footwork on it?
And I mean, you can't help but be drawn in by what seems to be almost superhuman, you know, ability to you know, perform, and I was just mesmerized. And so, you know, once you gave that one song a chance, there's another one and another, and eventually it wasn't until I got to the video for Fire that I really felt like that I could call myself ARMY. Yeah, that was the one video I would show people, and I'm thinking, how could they not, you know, see this and then just totally be like blown away and absorbed in? And boy, it really kind of took me off guard and surprised me how people didn't have the same reaction that I did. I got to the point where I started watching reaction people, and I'd always wait for that one moment in the dance where they'd bring their hands up and they, you know,
yeah, fire, oh, yes sir.
And I'm always waiting for that one part to see their reaction to it.
I definitely see what you're saying with the introduction. Those music videos are fire. What would you say is your favorite now that you've been in the fandom for a little while? You've listened to the discography. I don't know if I'm saying that word right. I apologize.
Oh, I mean, you know, the strange thing is, this is the one group that I like almost every single song they've actually put out. And I rarely have ever come across a group in my entire 51 years of life to ever have that kind of reaction to a whole archive of their work. And yet they're that group. And so to narrow down is like picking your favorite kid. It's really difficult. Not that I have a favorite child, but yeah. I definitely have different ones that resonate in different ways, and I guess maybe that's the way the music works too. There's songs that, you know, connect with you in certain types of feelings or emotions, and so you connect on that level. But I mean, usually I think we always get drawn to the epic music, the ones that are anthems and that really have the strength and power. And so on that level, I think Mic Drop is probably way up there. Maybe Tear. Oh, okay. every time I get into tier, I can lift maybe another 20, 30 pounds, you know.
BTS, they're great at the music. They're extremely attractive, okay? Great dancing. But why do you think they resonate with people, or why do they resonate with you so much?
You know, if it was just the music, I think it would be missing a few layers to actually connect with people. I think people, you know, they would enjoy and listen to it, but I don't think they would feel compelled to, you know, go to the concerts at the same level or absorb all the peripherals. I think that would be missing, and I think what drives that connection is the personality and the interconnection they have with each other. That they all seem to have their unique personas that don't seem to be disconnected from each other, but harmonized. And I think, you know, you and I probably have that same thing where we find, you know, there's an entry point through one person that we especially connect to, and then we feel part of the whole group because the way they interfit perfectly together. And it's not just, you know, their music, they have that kind of connection, it's their personalities. It almost seems like they have a music and the way they interconnect with their own personalities.
To you, what are the main themes or messages that you take from a lot of their songs, a lot of the stuff that they put out? Because a lot of us take different meanings from them.
You know, I think music is very subjective, and there are elements or lines from certain songs that each of us have meaning for. But the thing I always walk away with, where I find I gain a lot of meaning, is in the way a person conducts themselves, the way they express themselves. You know, good music, you know, talent, clever lyrics, you know, don't mean anything if it's not backed up with good character and a good heart to go with it. And so, you know, it wouldn't mean anything to us if they didn't demonstrate themselves to be quality human beings as they seem to already. You know, maybe it's a complete facade and we're just, you know, fully absorbed by, you know, some sort of parade that, you know, it's not real. But you can't keep that up for that long. And so from my perspective, you know, they demonstrate, you know, a sense of responsibility, a consideration for the other person. They elevate another person as better themselves, you know, meaning that they care about people to such an extent that their concerns are more higher than their own. And that kind of character is, I think, what elevates the music to such a personal level. So for me, the message is not so much found in a lyric or a melody, but in the person behind it. And I think that's what really screams the loudest for me.
I definitely agree with you 100% because you have a certain credibility in you whenever you prove yourself through hard work, through determination, and through loyalty and commitment. I feel like BTS have definitely done that. They're somebody that a lot of people can resonate with just because we've seen what they've gone through to get where they are. A little bit of a lighter note now. I gotta ask you, who is your bias in BTS?
V. Tay Bear. Taehyung.
You can be honest, it's because he's attractive. He's a visual king.
Well, I mean, he is for sure. You know, it's surprising because he went from boyish charm all the way to supermodel. You know, and so it is kind of interesting to see this evolution of his attractiveness. It's never diminished or changed, but it's always evolved. For me, it's got to be more than that. You know, it's got to be the personality. I always found him to be, you know, a prankster, humorous, but he knows how to bring the swag. He knows how to like effortlessly. You know, swag is not one of those things you can force. He does it without even thinking. And I think, you know, when he's on stage, you know, I think he's in his own element. He's lost in it. And, you know, it comes out as genuine. And so I connect with that. And I guarantee all the guys have something of that in their own character. But they all have it in their unique way. And so for me, I just have a kind of an avenue or channel into what I see from Tae. And then obviously it spreads out to the rest and with the same love and consideration. Yeah.
You make some of the best content. The graphic designs on that you Photoshop on Instagram are incredible. The skits on Twitter always make my day. What's your background and what pushes you to make that awesome content?
I've always gone into life saying, be willing. That's my motto, be willing. And so in anything I've done, it's not a matter of where's my ceiling, where's my the place I'm not willing to try. Too many people let fear be the obstacle. And so same thing with humor and just kind of putting your talents out there. People may or may not like it, but be willing to give it a shot. And so my background's in multimedia. I got my degree in commercial art and with a minor in computer science. And we're talking ancient. This is before computers had color. But that was my world, and it kind of made it an easy track for me to explore being creative digitally. I have my background in graphic design. I do, Photoshop for a living. And so, I enjoy combining humor and, digital visuals to put out there. And of course, having BTS as the canvas to work with, just makes it all the more fun. So I get to do this out of a sense of entertainment and fun. I think that's what makes it maybe something people resonate with or enjoy, is because it looks like I'm having fun, because hopefully it's because I am, so I hope that's what people are getting.
So now you're diving into the YouTube world too. I know you're making reactions on there. Is there anything that you want to tell people, or how's your experience been with it so far?
That I'm still figuring it out, still learning it. I'm finding, that channel to be genuine. It was a little trickier than I thought. I think because you're so influenced by all the other personalities out there that you almost feel like it's the formula to follow. And I'm trying to figure out how I find my own formula. Reactions are pretty standard. It's the, you have to have a video, you have to have a personal reaction. But it's all the stuff you do in between that makes it your own. And so I'm trying to figure that out. And I'm slowly finding my lane and all that. And finding people who seem to connect with you in a surprising way, where they don't just say how much they like the video or how much they like your reaction, but they like you. And that's a surprise. I didn't expect that. And I started realizing that this is a symbiotic relationship. It's not just making a video. It's not just putting yourself out there. It's how you connect to the people who watch the video at the same time. And so I'm figuring that out now, having the time to do it like these other guys, like yourself. I'm in a different lane altogether. I have all kinds of other facets to my life that demand time, and so I can't do it in the same way. But I think that's also part of my own formula. How do I navigate this with my own kind of time?
But you're not just a BTS fan, right? Like, you're a K-pop dad. You're a big fan of K-pop in general as a genre.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I technically am multifandom, and sometimes it's a dirty word in the Army, but
I don't get it. I don't understand what the problem is with being a multi-fan.
Yeah, I don't either. Because I think music is about finding what fits with you, and I think if we like BTS, we can see the example they put out is not one of just putting out their own music. They demonstrate how much they appreciate other artists, other music. They've even done V Live of them listening to, Karen Carpenter or So, all kinds of other artists. And so if they're the people that we connect to and they like other music, I think it makes sense that we could feel that if that's okay too.
And to touch on more of a serious subject, we're going through a very difficult time right now. In the midst of a pandemic, a lot of people might be anxious. They might be worrying, and a lot of us are going through similar emotions, being scared and uncertain. Do you have any advice, any words of encouragement for people coming from like your own perspective and insight?
Not to think so much about tomorrow being without hope. I think so often, because we can't see two steps in front of us, we think that the lack of knowing what's going to happen means it's all going to be bad. I've been through so much of my life where times have been bad, and I knew from experience that there was a way through it. And I think those of us who are younger, who see this as a scary time, I think they need to look to the people who have gone before us and have seen how they were able to manage through it and get to the other side. I think knowing there's another side, an end to it all, gives people the ability to drive through. And I think this is a race. Life is not a rehearsal. You know, we need to run it as fast and as hard as we can, as if to finish the race and make it across the finish line. And I think, you know, just keep focusing in your lane and get to the other side, and you're gonna find you're gonna get there. Don't get to the place where you shut down and you don't have any ability to see yourself as being able to make it through. You know, you're gonna be fine. And if trouble does come, manage it, and look to those who have gone before you. And I'll tell you personally, you know, I have a relationship with God, and that's one of the major driving forces for me in life. You know, if I didn't have God in my life, I would be lost, and that's a real statement.
Dude, awesome, amazing advice. Just thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you so much for being here, getting to meet you. Already get to know you is incredible. You're an awesome, awesome person. I usually end my videos by telling people, reminding them to stay strong and love themselves. Would you mind doing the same?
Yeah, sure. And let me throw in my own outro as well. Remember, guys, above all else, stay strong and love yourself. And as I always say, never cease or decrease, but always increase in grace and peace. Pop that out.
Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Let me know down in the comments below who you want to get interviewed next. Make sure to go check out his channel. Links in the description along with all of his social media accounts. Guys, you're not going to regret it. He's making awesome content. It makes my day a lot of the time. It's funny, engaging, and it's unique above all else. So thank you once again, Kpop Dad, for being here. And thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out.